Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an expensive game, not just to win, but to play. Many of the cards can cost large sums of money that many players cannot afford, just for one singular copy. So, starting with 3 structure decks and £10 per episode, is it possible to build and win with a competitive deck? And is it actually possible to play this game on a budget? So, week number 1, we're going to be starting with 3 structure decks. Now, I do know that I did say I'd start with a £10 budget every episode. However, opening the same product 3 weeks in a row will be pretty boring, just to speed things a little up. So we're starting with 3 structure decks as well. Starting with 3 structure decks is probably the best way to start in Yu-Gi-Oh! And so that's why we are starting with triple copies of structure deck Freezing Chains. Now, this isn't the greatest structure deck out there, but it does have some pretty cool cards in here. And for the deck that we're going with, I think we can make it work. So I'll just open one of them now, just so we can see what's inside one of them. We can obviously read the back, but I prefer to actually see the actual cards to, know what I'm working with. So we have our deck here, and I don't think the whole play mat can fit on the screen, but wow, that is cool. The one really good thing about the Ice Barrier monsters is they all have really cool designs, despite not being the greatest in terms of stat line. So let's open it. So for our cards, first card, Revealer of the Ice Barrier. Best normal summon in the deck. Currently, damaged the card a bit, but still very excellent card. Probably going to be playing 3. Speak for the Ice Barrier. Extender, definitely going to be playing it. Zunzelin, I think that's how it's pronounced, of the Ice Barrier. Not the best card, but who knows. Might play it. Window of the Ice Barrier, very underrated card. This card's pretty good, especially in Ice Barrier. Trishula Zero, extremely cool card, and actually very good effect. Very underrated as a level 11 synchro. Duloran, Tiger King of the Ice Barrier. It's pretty okay. Probably going to play this, maybe? Yeah. Brionac. Brionac's pretty good. Gunner's the worst one, but it's still very good. And Original Trish in, I think that's ultra rare. We have General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. Good special summon and a searcher. Hexa Spirit. Good card. Can modulate its own level. Blizzard. Cryomancer. Prior. Defender is pretty good. Warlock might go in the side deck. What does it do? Well, you control another Ice Barrier. That's okay. Spellbreaker, I think that one's pretty good. Strategist, it's fine. Most of the Ice Barrier cards have the problem of just having really okay effects. Genix Controller and Genix Undying, these might go in the deck. It is a water dump, which is pretty good. Aqua Spirit, pretty good. Duprog and Ronin Totem, we're not going to play these now, but we will in future. Fishborg Launcher, very interesting card, might play it. Moonlit Glacier, the Elemental Lord, probably going to be an early game boss monster for us. Silent Angler, another good very special summon. Freezing Chains, Monster Reborn effectively. Magical Triangle, we might put in the side deck maybe. Medallion, best search card in the game, just add any Ice Barrier monster. Mirror for the mirror match. Salvage and Surface effectively do the same thing. Well, now, probably not going to play this. We don't play many level ones. A Pointer of the Red Lotus is an interesting card. I do think we'll play this. But yeah, it's pretty good. Fiendish Chain, definitely going to play this. Ishlabin? A card I cannot pronounce. It's just worse, lose one turn. Mind Drain might go in the side deck. Heavy Storm Duster, side deck inclusion. Crackdown, main deck at 3, definitely. And Terror of Trishula. Probably going to play this at 1. And then an advertisement for Blazing Vortex, the exact opposite of Freezing Chains. So let's sleeve up this, come up with the deck, and see what we can do. So, after a bit of testing, I have come up with a list for the main deck, the extra deck, and the side deck. So, I'll show that off now, just to see what the deck can do. So, to start, we are running triple copies of Revealer of the Ice Barrier. At this current point, this card is the best normal summon in the deck. You can discard a card to summon an Ice Barrier tuner from your deck. It has an effect which allows you to use more Revealers. It's generally really, really good. It can allow you to make near any of your Synchro Dragons turn 1, which is extremely useful. So, yeah. And to go along with that, we are playing triple Speaker of the Ice Barrier and triple Silent Angler for the extenders. Both of these can just summon themselves from the hand. This one if you control an Ice Barrier monster, and this one if you control a Water monster. Silent Angler locks you out of summoning from the hand for the rest of the turn, so it does have some problems with the deck, but overall it's a very good card. Speaker can only summon if it has an Ice Barrier. It's once per turn, but still very good. And the final extender we are playing is triple copies of General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. General Wayne says if your opponent controls a monster and you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can summon it for free from your hand. And when it's special summoned, you can add an Ice Barrier spell trap from your deck to your hand. Now, we are playing a few Ice Barrier spell traps, which I will get into now. We are playing triple of the Medallion of the Ice Barrier. This just is non-once per turn. Add an Ice Barrier monster from deck to hand, and triple copies of Winds over the Ice Barrier. This allows you to tribute any number of Ice Barrier monsters to summon the same amount that are level 4 or lower from the deck. It can allow you to get into your Revealer. Additionally, you can banish it from grave to recycle a card. Just generally extremely good. Allows you to get into your Revealer plays in bricky hands. For tuners, Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier is the best tuner in the deck. You can send an Ice Barrier, level 3 or lower Ice Barrier from deck to grave, and it modulates its level to that card's level. So we're playing 2 Defender, which is a level 3 tuner, and 2 Zinzalin of the Ice Barrier. This card is a bit interesting. These two have fine lockdown effects, but they just aren't that great. This one makes your opponent's monster lose 500 attack, and this one says that monsters with more than 1600 attack cannot declare an attack. But Zinzalin of the Ice Barrier is a very weird card. It was made to turbo out the generals. What it says is you contribute this card to summon a level 5 or higher Ice Barrier monster, so any of the generals from your hand. If it's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can target a water on your field. Reduce its level by 2 and summon this card. So it can help you make Trish in corner scenarios in your grave, which I really, really like, and it can get General Wayne out. As the last kind of big card and main deck boss, we're playing double copies of Moon and Glacier, the Elemental Lord. It really helps with our main strat of trying to hand rip cards out of the opponent's hand. It's a free summon if you have 5 or more monsters, 5 or more water monsters in grave, and it just is a big beat stick. The only downside is if it's destroyed, I skip my next battle phase, which isn't that big of a deal, and just a hand rip can really, really help out. Next, for recursion cards, we're playing double Freezing Chains, double Salvage, and double Surface. Freezing Chains and Surface do the same thing. They're effectively a monster born for the deck. This is for any Ice Barrier that's level 4 or lower, and this one is for any level 3 or lower Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua monsters. This can come in handy, and so can this. When you need to reborn something. Additionally, this makes all Ice Barrier monsters unaffected by opponent's monsters that were special summoned by the extra deck, the activated effects, if you control 3 or more of them. Salvage lets you recycle 2 water monsters, which is really good with Revealer. Wait, can you target Revealer? You cannot, it has too much attack, but you can target other monsters and recur more advantage. Generally, these are like really good for recurring advantage, which this deck does struggle to do. Next for traps, to slow the opponent down, we're on triple Crackdown, triple Fiendish Chain, and 1 Tower of Trish. Crackdown steals an opponent's monster and Fiendish Chain, negates the effects, really good for going first, and okay going second. And Terror of Trishula effectively allows you to banish cards depending on the amount of Ice Barrier monsters you control, and when it can negate the activation of a card that targets an Ice Barrier Synchro monster and negate it by banishing it from grave. It's fine at 1, it's not searchable, so honestly I think 1 of it is perfectly fine. For the extra deck, we are just genuinely just full gas, running all of the Ice Barrier Synchro monsters and the dog. This one banishes 3 on field. Trish 0, and then when it's destroyed, it floats into Trish, but negates Trish's effect. It's fine, but just not great. Trish banishes 1 from hand, field, and grave. Definitely an ideal card to make turn 1. Gunner is probably the worst. You discard up to 2 cards, destroy that many cards on field. It's overall fine, but just not great, but it's good in corner cases. Brionac lets you discard any number of cards to return the same number of cards to your opponent's hand. It's level 6, probably will come up a bit more. And Lauren lets you return cards to the hand for it to gain an attack once per turn, obviously. This card needed an errata. But you can actually do some cool things, like target your Monster Reborn card and return it to your hand. Because it's a continuous spell, which is pretty cool to use it again, and it gains attack. Might come up, but who knows. Finally, for the side deck, for going first, I'm playing triple Pointer, and against back row decks, I'm playing triple Heavy Storm Duster. Honestly, a Pointer is kind of really underrated. You pay 2k, reveal hand, look at your opponent's hand, banish something until their next end phase. Really good, similar to Trish in a way. Heavy Storm Duster is good against back row decks. It's self-explanatory, no need to really go into detail about that. The only back row removal in this deck. Ishblan says it's good against beat stick decks, which I doubt I'll ever use, but who knows. It's in the side deck, might come up. Mirror, in case we get the Ice Barrier mirror match. But this card can come up in other scenarios. If the opponent's like banishes cards, we can punish them. Mind Drain, again, probably not going to come up. It can negate hand traps, which is pretty cool, but you know. And so that is the deck. I'm gonna see how it does episode 1. I doubt it'll be very good, but it can do some stuff, and I genuinely want to improve on this. This is probably gonna get a lot better over the following episodes, but yeah, so that's the deck. Duel number 1 begins, and we are against Time Lords. Now, I'm not the biggest expert on the deck, but I know it's basically focused around big beat sticks. Now, we don't open a great hand, so I just decide to set a Crackdown pass. We steal their Time Lord, and they Mystic Mine, which makes the game very interesting. As we just pass turn again, they pass turn. We set another Crackdown here. They
start their turn, they go Extrav, banishing 3, I think that was. They go battle with their Time Lords. We decide to take 4k during the end phase. Mystic Mine blows up itself. And during our turn, we decide to start with a Crackdown, stealing their Time Lord. They respond with their Continuous Trap, which I have no idea what it does, and I will refuse to read it. We normal Revealer effect, summon Hexa. Hexa send level 2, do Lauren. We bounce back our entire other field to make do Lauren's attack 4k. We add 2 Waters back to hand, we attack for 4k. We set our 2 Crackdowns. Now, the reason I did this was because I knew Time Lord couldn't summon that many monsters that quickly, so it would just be bonus damage that was, that is able to be done quite quickly, which is very good. They destroy our Crackdowns, which is a little annoying. We normal Hexa. We go Tribute both of them. We go Surface. We go Revealer. Revealer gets negated with Infinite Impermanence. We go Hexa, send level 3, we make Trish 0. Trish 0 banishes the opponent's entire field. Banish to make a Ice Barrier token. Summoning Moon and Glacier. The opponent discards 2 cards, and that's game 1 over. Game 2 begins, and we are looking from the wrong perspective right now against a Synchro Good Stuff deck that proceeds to make Hulk. And Dagda. So we're Scythe Block this turn, which we have no out to. Really riveting gameplay here. So, the only idea I had here to at least attempt to survive was to basically just throw a bunch of beat sticks on the field and just hope that they can't get over them all. Which, even if they could, they'd probably set up a near unbreakable board anyway, so I'd be dead. I destroy the Dagda. Did you know Dagda has an effect which allows him to summon Scythe again? It's their turn. They control Baron and Scythe. They Foolish Burial. They Baron pop. And change Scythe to attack. They do the Adventurer combo stuff. Summoning Griffin, which they opened, by the way. They bounce stuff back, go to battle, and get barely lethal thanks to Fairy Tale Snow. And that's game 2. Game 3 is a very different duel. This is with a friend, and it is the wonders of the Ice Barrier Mirror match. Just to show you what the deck can do against itself. So I start with the Revealer, I have the Extender in hand, I make Trish and rip a card out of hand. It is a Pointer of the Red Lotus, that's a pretty good rip. They start with their own Revealer, which we steal. Just because it doesn't really allow them to do that much unless they have specific extenders. They go Medallion Search, they summon from hand, they make Gunneer, discard their entire hand, destroy our field, go for battle, inflict 25. During my turn, I top deck an Extender, and I decide to add back Revealer with Winds, attempt to do some comboing to end on the board of some monsters. However, I make Duloran return the Revealer and crash. They normal summon their own Revealer. Revealer, summon level 3, grab back the Extender, special summon the Extender, and go into Trish 0, going to battle, attacking for 27. During my turn, I top deck Moon and Glacier, which I don't think I can use, so I decide to go Revealer, discard, summon, go in face. They go standby phase, activate Freezing Chains, reviving back the dog. Draw phase, I couldn't make anything previously, but I top deck General Wayne, which is basically really good. General Wayne add Medallion Search, make Trish 0, banish their entire field, make another Ice Barrier token, and go in for pretty big damage. And then main phase 2 end phase. During their turn, they top deck Harpy's Feather Duster, which won't be doing anything. We just go straight into battle and attack for lethal damage, and that's game 3. Overall, we had 3 wins, 2 losses, no draws, and we won 2 matches and lost 1. In the first match against Time Lords, they surrendered to us after game 1. Second match against Synchro Libromancers, we lost to them game 2. And game 3, in the Ice Barrier Mirror match, we managed to take game 2. Overall, I'm fairly happy with the deck, how the deck did so far, but I do think there are some obvious places where it can improve. We don't have a good going first place, so we're definitely going to have to get some cards which allow us to go first, and probably build up a better side deck which allows us to go second and go first a bit more easily. So I guess I'll have to plan what to get for episode 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! On a Budget.